Hello, Zog Mad Dog here, and welcome back to CSS for World Anvil, a series where I guide you through how to design the CSS for your world. Today, I'm going to teach you one way of introducing a new font. First, we need to find a font that we can use in our world. I'm just looking for a font for the title, so it should be something that's bold and sticks out. I recommend just Googling Google Fonts, and you'll see here it is a library of almost 1,000 free licensed font families, so you're not going to worry about copyright. Click this link here, fonts.google.com, and you start browsing through all the fonts. Once you find one you like, just click on it and open it up. I've found this font, Marienda 1, which has this almost hand-drawn look that I really like. You can also use the type here to preview text to see what it might look like as the title. I want the title to be in all caps, so I'm typing the same thing here. We can also take a look at different font sizes to see if it changes how we feel about it as it gets larger or smaller. Once you've decided on a font, click Select this style here on the right, and then click Embed. There's a link here under this bit of text. We just want to take the link, starting from within the quotation marks, HTTPS, all the way down to the end of swap. Copy-paste that into your HTML browser, and you'll get something that looks like this. From this page, there may be more than one piece of code. Up here you can see Latin, followed by some text, and there may be another one that says something along the lines of normal. We want to take the Latin one, and we're just going to copy from the @ side down to the closed bracket. And we're going to take that to our World Anvil CSS. Where you paste it doesn't matter, but I like to put mine at the top, so that way they're easy to see. Now, there are a couple of pieces of code in here that we don't want. I'm going to put them on screen in bold, so that way you can spot them within your font, because it might be a little bit different. But essentially, the only piece we want to keep from this source property is the URL, all the way to the closed parentheses. So the pieces I'll be deleting are this format section from behind the semicolon, and then these two local sections and their associated commas. Now we just need to change the font of the title. To do this, we're going to use our developer tools to find out which container the title is in. As we can see here, its class is h1.world-title.m-b-0. This is a very specific class that relates only to the world title, but we can also just use world-title to reference it, and it won't change anything anywhere else in our world, except for this specific line. In order to change this title, we're going to reference the class first by typing .user-css to reference where in the container that the title sits, and then type .world-title, and then close out the brackets. From here, to change the font family, we'll type in font-family, followed by a colon, and then copy and paste the title of the family from the Google code, which sits here, followed by a semicolon. Now, there are a couple other things we could do with our font, such as change the size. I think I want to make this a little bit bigger, so let's experiment a bit using the font-size property. From here, you just type in how many pixels large you want the title to be. I'm going to try 47 px pixels, followed by a semicolon. Now it's just a little bit bigger, and I think that stands out a bit more on my title page. We can also change the color using the color property. In this case, I'd like it to look just like an ink, or black. Remember, I also said I wanted the title to be all capital letters. Now, I could change the title using the world edit function, or we can use a fun line of called text-transform, followed by a colon, uppercase, and a semicolon. Now I think I'm going to reuse the same font to change a couple other headers within the world, such as the header 2 line, or H2, which affects the world codex and recent article headers. I'm going to do this by typing in a new reference to class, .user-css, followed by a space, and then H2, closing out the brackets. I'm going to copy the font family code from the world title reference and paste it under my H2 brackets. And as you can see, it's now been changed. I also want to color these black, so I'll just copy and paste that code as well. Well, this is already looking a sight better than just some standard fonts. If you'd like a little bit more control over the colors, you can type into Google CSS colors and you'll find this W3 page where you can see the names of many, many different types of referenceable colors for CSS. I'll also teach you how to program a code using RGB, using a color wheel such as this one. If you're unfamiliar with RGB or red, green, blue colors, these numbers here go from 0 to 255 and represent how much saturation a color is given. 255 for all of them is white, and 0 for all of them is black. In this case, maybe solid black is a little bit too strong for my font, so I might go with just a dark gray, say around 40-40-40. We'll go back to our CSS page and change the color from solid black to RGB, followed by a open and close parentheses. Within the parentheses, you just type the numbers as they are given to you, from red to green to blue. In this case, it's easy as all the numbers are the same, 40, 40, 40. You can see now I get this dark gray color to my font. I'm going to copy and paste this color over to my title as well. Now I'm going to take advantage of a fun property called text-shadow. Type in the command text-shadow, followed by a colon, and then a sequence of 3 numbers that correspond to the pixels of the shadow. The first number is the shift of the pixels on the left-right axis, the second, up-down axis, and the third is how much blur the text will receive. I'll demonstrate this now by typing in 5 pixels, 5 pixels, and 5 pixels, followed by a semicolon. As you can see, the shadow has been shifted down to the right and been given a slight blur so it's not so jarring. I'm going to change this a bit for my needs, in this case 0 pixels, 0 pixels, and 20 pixels. As you can see, the shadow becomes so wide that it kind of gives the appearance of a smudge across the paper, as if the ink has been worn slightly. I'm going to copy this code into my headers as well. You can also include a separate color for your text shadow. You just type it in after the last set of pixels. For instance, black will make it darker, or I could do blue. I'm going to leave it the same color for now, as that's what I think suits my aesthetic best for this world. In order to change the font anywhere else within your world, you just need to know what container it is. I recommend using an inspect tool and just hovering over the line of text you wish to change to see what container it's located in. Click on it, and you can see the class within your dev tools. In this case, subheading space m-b-20. In order to change it, we'll do the same thing as with the previous two headers. Start by typing .user-css, followed by a space, and then type subheading, followed by your brackets. I'm just going to copy the font over for demonstration purposes. Things haven't seemed to change. One of the first troubleshooting steps I might take here is to double check that the class is correct. It looks the same, but if we notice down here, it's within a div, or division. In this case, what we need to do is add a period in front of subheading. There we go. This is a great troubleshooting step if you're having a hard time figuring out if the class is written correctly or if you need to reference the code somewhere else. That's all I have for you today. I encourage you to keep experimenting with the properties I've taught, and also try and figure out some of those classes and containers for yourself. If you're really struggling, you can always reach out within the World Anvil Discord community, and someone will be able to point you in the right direction. If you have any specific questions, please leave them in the comments below, and I'll see if I can't cover it in a future episode. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you next time.